the romance anime from me to you absolutely pisses me off. Now, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Before you go off on me, before you go crazy, I want to say this. I love this romance anime. It's up there with some of the best that I have in my repertoire of what I've watched. But there are times in this romance anime that it pisses me off that I have to deal with watching the main character get bullied. And that right there is something I cannot get over. I hate that so damn much. Now, I will say this. I understand I'm supposed to feel this way. I understand I'm supposed to be upset. I understand that it's supposed to piss me the heck off. But damn, when I look at the bullying in this anime and what goes on and all the freaking, people that try to start rumors, stuff like that, that frustrates me more than anything you can possibly even imagine. Like, it absolutely infuriates me. And it makes me think back that maybe if I was in their school, like, would I basically stand up for this person? And in my book, I think I would, right? I think I would. And obviously you never know unless you went through that. But I feel like I would stand up for the people that got bullied. And that's how I feel about some of these other romance animes that involve a ton of bullying or in tons of like people being absolute like assholes. Like, I'm like, dude, I would low-key stand up and I would low-key like fight back a little bit. Now, I'm not saying I would throw hands or anything like that, but I would definitely stand up for the person that's getting bullied, and I would definitely look out for them as much as I possibly can, even if we weren't friends. And frankly, that's where we get from, basically we go to from me to you. And what makes this anime or like this anime in general so damn peak is because of that bullying in the beginning. It really led us up to like these characters standing up for their friend, right? Making sure that their friend was okay and doing the right thing. And honestly, like in all honesty, it is a great thing. Like, I loved seeing that. But in all honesty, I also hated seeing bullying and all those things. And before we get into more of this video, if you absolutely despise bullying and you would have stood up for Sawako, then do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and shoot, maybe even give this video a hype. I really do appreciate that. Now, with that said, let's get right into it. Now, let's start with some of the lighter stuff, but the big thing that we basically see in the beginning of this season is a lot of basically Sawako being called Sadako and treated essentially like this ghost. And essentially, she's not really treated like a really cool person. Like, she's kind of ignored, she's feared. I mean, there's even a point in time where these girls run away from her. Like, that is how they feel about her and how they're somewhat terrified of her, even though frankly there's nothing to be terrified about. And that has a lot to do with just either a ton of rumors spreading about Sawako, or just random stuff that was being said, or things that she quote unquote does that seems creepy, but it's actually just her just being her. Because that's the reality of it. She is a little bit awkward. She's, not your typical person. So there are a lot of people basically in the show that are either terrified of her, or when she's laughing or saying certain things or doing certain things, it seems like, oh my gosh, like she's scary, or she's this or she's that. And frankly, she's just like any other person, right? She gets happy when she hangs out with her friends. She does this, she does that, right? It's just typical stuff. Like, that is what she is as a character. But also, she seems to be extremely sweet. Like, she is insanely adorable, extremely sweet, and just a good person overall, and just wants the best out of everyone. But the reality is, not only does her feelings about certain things get her into a little bit of trouble, really not on her account, like it's not her fault, but the reality is, when she says certain things that are, could be misconstrued a certain way, well, they have a tendency of getting misconstrued the very, very, very negative way. And that's what we do see later on, right? Because initially, she's getting kind of, I wouldn't say bullied, but she is getting looked at like, oh, she's scary. Nobody wants to be around her. Even in that first episode, they're kind of like, oh, it's a punishment to date Sawako. And of course, that gets shut down quicker than you could possibly imagine, because that's a messed up thing to say, right? Like, that is legitimately a messed up thing to say. And luckily, there's a character in here that I like visualize as, I wouldn't say myself, but has tendencies of doing things that, like, when I'm watching it, I'm like, ah, dude, if I was there, I would say this, or if I was there, I would have done this, right? And he has a tendency of doing that, and his name is Kazehaya, which I'm sure a lot of you know, right? A lot of you know who Kazehaya is, and he basically shut that down. Like, he was like, why would you even say that, right? Like, you're essentially saying that me dating Kurumi would have been, like, horrible, or a horrible bet of some sorts. Like, are you dumb? Like, that's stupid. And I like that a lot because he is somebody who will step up to the plate and shut things down when they need to be shut down. And that right there, hey, that's a pretty goated character in my book, because anybody who will stick up for basically people being bullied, especially in these animes, especially someone like Sawako, who really doesn't know social cues like that, doesn't know like certain things in that way, it really is nice seeing other people stand up for her. And that does give me hope, right, in general, for an anime like this. And I've watched this entire anime, and it's absolutely amazing. And there are tons of times where her friends, right, her newly friends, get her back, and that is really, really cool. But I think the reality is, these moments of bullying, these moments of people saying things, in that moment of them saying it, I still get pretty damn pissed off. Like, I think all of us can agree, like why would you say that? Like, damn, bro, like shut up. Like, why are you even saying that? And then obviously some of these characters, they do exactly what we're thinking, aka backing up Sawako, right? Making sure that everybody understands, like, hey, bro, that ain't cool. And I think that's really, really dope to see in this anime. But obviously this is the more lighthearted stuff, because the rumors definitely get worse. And this is essentially where we go into like the whole rumorville, right? Like, tons of rumors about Sawako, about Yano, about Yoshida, main characters, right? This is where we get into all of the rumor stuff. And I'll be honest, this part of the anime, it got me so upset. And I know it's supposed to. I want to make that very clear, that I have an understanding that it's supposed to make you upset for a reason, right? You're supposed to feel bad for these people. You're supposed to be upset. And I was just like, damn, bro, like, let me at them. Like, these people are freaking messed up. Like, they are genuinely jerks. Now, for starters, Yoshida and Yano essentially had rumors that they were some pretty nasty things, right? So one of them was that they were a delinquent, and other one was something I won't say, just because, you know, it's a pretty harsh word. But let's just say she was quote unquote getting around. Like, that is what essentially was getting pushed, and the narrative that was getting pushed was Yoshida and Yano were those type of people, delinquent, and they were getting around. Now, with that said, you'd be like, you know what, that is pretty bad, but no way it gets worse. And it does, because there was also a separate rumor that literally involved Sawako herself supposedly spreading the rumor of Yoshida and Yano basically being those type of people. And I was like, damn, dude, this type of drama, not only is it really good, but it's like so infuriating, because you're sitting here like, this is messed up. Like, why are you making up all this BS for people that have nothing really to do with you? And I guess that's high school in a nutshell, right? Everybody's trying to find their way to, like, you know, get a little laugh in, get a little whatever in. But honestly, watching this part, I was just like, this is so freaking lame. Like, genuinely so freaking lame that Sawako, Yoshida, and Yano were like weirdly stuck in this like rumorville of some sorts, right? And I was just like, this is terrible. Like, I hate this. Now, was it good as an anime, like good as a part of the show? Of course. But I hated it because just watching like the confusion, and Sawako is already somebody who doesn't really understand social cues, at least not to the way that she wants to. And she doesn't really understand feelings, especially to the way that she wants to. So the fact that you had all these BS, horrible things going on, where it's all these crazy rumors and horrible things where it's making her look bad, essentially making her look like some gossip, I was like, damn, this absolutely sucks. But don't worry, Yoshida and Yano absolutely have her back, because eventually Kurumi or Sawako, is in a position where she's kind of confronting the people that are like spreading rumors or like really bulking up the rumors, right? It's not actually the person spreading the rumors, but they're bulking up the rumors, because obviously they didn't start them, but they they continued, freaking going on with them. So I said Yoshida and Yano basically come in and save Sawako because they're basically bullying her, like physically bullying her, and I'm just like, yeah, like you better mess these girls up. Now, obviously they don't end up like beating them up, but to be honest, kind of wish they did. But luckily enough, everything gets eventually settled down to a certain degree, and everybody is okay. Like everyone is completely and utterly okay after the fact. But one part at the end of it, right, that really, really frustrated me was the part where essentially the guys out there were like, yeah, we don't really know Sawako or Sadako. So like we thought, it was probably like, the rumors were possibly true. I was like, bro, that is the stupidest logic I've ever heard in my life, right? For one, if you don't know somebody, then we probably shouldn't jump to conclusions about the person. So that's obvious. Two, how would she ever seem like that type of person? Like if I was somebody who didn't know her at all, and just saw her from time to time, saw the way she acted from time to time, I would probably think, I don't know how I feel about really her making up these quote unquote rumors. Like, I don't think she would make up those up, but hey, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Like that's what my mindset would be. Like, why would she make them up? And why would your first reaction be, let me believe these rumors, instead of being like, nah, I'm gonna wait and see if all of these things come out that are true, right? Like I want to see it before I actually believe it. I hate the idea that like all these random people were like, oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I could see Sawako doing that because I don't even know her. Like that makes absolutely no sense. Like it honestly hurts my head even thinking about that. But overall, luckily those things, like they all got settled, and everything involving the bullying and stuff like that does get settled. But I was like, you're physically attacking somebody for quote unquote spreading rumors and doing this and shit. They're all like, oh, like don't worry, like we won't attack you, or we won't like we will leave you out of it if you just like admit that they did this, or Yoshida and Yano are like this. It's such a weird thing, like such an odd idea in general. But for me, I'm just like, thank goodness all of that got settled and all of it was handled accordingly, because it's some BS the way some of the characters in this show, like the side characters, were 100% acting. But what's crazy is this isn't even the worst bullying of it all. Like, at least to a certain extent, is not the worst bullying that we get out of this anime, because the worst of it all 100% comes from Kurumi. And oh my goodness, she is made for you not to like her. I think we all understand that. But that character, holy, absolutely irritates the absolute heck out of me, because she essentially wants to be with Kazehaya, right? But she essentially goes through it in the most cunning, the most like manipulative way you can possibly even imagine. I mean, she does it like a lot. Like a lot of the rumors essentially come from her. And on top of that, like she tries to play up this like nice girl, super like, friendly, sweet girl, like, around as many people as possible. And the reality is she has this huge crush on Kazehaya, and she starts really, really trying to mess with Kurunuma, like tries to mess with Sawako, and essentially is trying to like, get in good terms with her, but also trying to sabotage her at every single turn. Like legitimately trying to sabotage her at every turn you can freaking think of. Like she is trying her absolute best to sabotage Sawako, even though Sawako's main goal isn't even like to be with Kazehaya. Like that wasn't like the mindset, at least not fully. But in all honesty, like she was pretty straightforward about essentially or eventually not liking Sawako. Like when she was super nice to her for a while until she got shut down, and then she was essentially like, you're my rival, you're this, like I don't like, she just started really being messed up and a jerk to her. And that is like, that's the reality, is like she started really being a jerk, like overall. And you're like, okay, like I knew I didn't mess with you. I knew you were fake. I knew I could smell fake from a million miles away on you. But now that you're showing it, hey, we know exactly what it is. And those early seasons, yeah, you really did see that. Like, she was a quote unquote rival. But it's funny because when I rewatched it, me and my buddy was like, you are not a rival. Like, you are not winning. Like, you're not winning. A rival has to have a chance to win, but you ain't gonna win, right? Like, not even close. And the reality is, she was never going to be close. But she tried her way, right? She tried to weasel her way through, tried to be friends with Sawako, tried to, like, basically like formulate this big lie and formulate all these ideas, and tries to basically guilt Sawako into feeling bad about this or that. And she was just trying to hurt Sawako in every way you can think of, like the rumors, right? She was trying to like be like, oh, will you cheer me on, when I go after, or like when I try to be with Kazehaya, all of these things. And obviously, like, Kurumi would not been able to do that. Like, she couldn't do that because she has feelings for Kazehaya, and obviously she knew that, right? Kurumi knew that, but like, she essentially was like just a jerk. Like, she was like your typical super savage, like absolutely manipulative, like high school girl. Like, that's what she was, right? She was manipulating. She was a bully. She did rumors. She did everything. She tried to essentially insert herself in a spot where she couldn't lose, and she would get Kazehaya. But the reality is, like, she wasn't close. She wasn't even close. But of course, she does come around and ends up being a good person, and she has like that full circle like moment where she essentially realizes her faults, becomes a better person, realizes that she actually grows quite fond of Sawako and all those things. But that's way later on. I'm talking about the beginning of the seasons. Like, she was horrible. She was an absolute jerk, and I hated her so damn much. But yeah, I mean, the reality is, this anime was riddled with like at least certain types of bullying, a lot of like, rumors and stuff like that. But in all reality, that part of this romance anime pissed me the hell off, even though it was a really, really strong portion of the anime and was important to a lot of these characters and their growth in general. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this anime, about From Me to You, and also about the parts of bullying and stuff. Did it frustrate you as much as it frustrated me? Because we all know it was supposed to do that, and damn sure it did its freaking job. But like I said, I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.